Agents, today I have for you perhaps one of the best iron lung new exotic LMG setup to destroy legendary strongholds like there is no tomorrow. I paired up this LMG with ongoing directive gearset and the synergy is insane. I'm setting on fire enemies and I'm applying bleed effect all over the place. On top of that, any status effect will trigger whilst mask debuff and it will sit on enemy faces for 10 seconds. Yeah, your enemies will have more issues than your ex-girlfriend and you know it. This build is superb DPS wise, crowd control wise, and survivability is kinda mediocre, but with all this crazy DPS we actually don't need to survive much because all the goddamn enemies will be barbecue chickenette. Anyway, Uncle Butcher in the building with another one. I hope you're doing great, and if you're new here, hit the like, smash the sub, or leave a hateful comment. It truly depends on your preference, but like I said, in this build I am using Iron Lung new exotic LMG, which I have paired up with ongoing directive gearset. If you don't know how this gearset works, you will receive bleeding bullets. Those bullets will amplify your damage even further. You have increased reload speed, and actually that's really important because LMG has way too long reloads in this game. But before we continue, quick word from the sponsor Diving.net. If you don't have enough time or good teammates but you still want to have all the best items in your game, then Diving.net is set for you. They have absolutely amazing team on consoles. They will complete your order super quick. Everything happens through account sharing. This service has been working for many years. They have tons of customer reviews. You can check everything by yourself, but now with my promo code Everybody, you will have 15% discount on absolutely all service. Amazing deal, especially when right now they have some crazy sales going on, so definitely check these guys out. But now let's get back to this setup, and like I mentioned previously at my intro, I'm using ongoing directive gearset, which I have paired up with Iron Lung exotic LMG, and everything works here really well together. I am applying multiple status effects with this setup. Also guys, since we are using technician specialization, we have disrupt grenades, and disrupt grenades will be counted as a status effect. And if you're gonna kill, for example, these mini tanks while they are disrupted, you will receive hello ammo / amplified weapon damage bullets in your magazine. It's super easy. You see damage output pretty much. We nuked that mini tank, and non-stop in your magazine you will have amplified weapon damage and bleeding bullets. And since we are using ongoing directive backpack, bleeding bullets has increased bleeding damage and bleed duration, so that means that we can trigger while mask more efficiently as well. For specialization, we will use technician specialization just to receive that extra skill tier skill damage, which in this case is really handy because our second skill is assault turret. We paired it up with artificial hive, which you can switch for maybe stinger hive, shock or explosive trap, maybe seeker mine or EMP. It really depends on your preference. Any skill that will apply status effect will work in this build, but artificial hive just will keep our assault turret alive non-stop, and it will deal more damage. It will distract. For the guns though, we are using Iron Lung exotic LMG, King Breaker named assault rifle with perfect flatline talent. This assault rifle hits extremely hard. For the pistol though, I'm using TDI named pistol with Future Perfection. Why Future Perfection? Because each kill will give us extra skill tier and our assault rifle can deal more damage. Instinct is nice, but Future Perfection can give us overall more DPS if propped properly or often enough. And I would recommend you to simply kill monolith enemies with your pistol and attack with your assault turret elites, and you should be just fine. For the gear itself, in this one we are using Wild Mask exotic gear piece. This mask will proc debuff on our status affected enemies. And like I mentioned previously, we are applying status effects with our LMG, with bleeding bullets, and of course with disrupt grenades. So we have three sources, main sources, how to apply status effects, and you can basically use fourth source, AK second skill, such as shock trap, explosive trap, stinger hive, fire turret, maybe blinder, you name it. So you have at least three, and even 4 options how to apply status effects all over the place. If you don't have iron long exotic LMG, you can replace it with Scorpio shotgun, and that's pretty much game over. With each shot you will apply Wild's Mask debuff, and enemies on legendary difficulty, has a really nice status effect resistance, and that's the reason why I'm using ongoing directive backpack, which will increase bleeding damage and bleed duration. That's extremely handy, guys. And it kind of mitigates all that resistance that these enemies have, and non-elites will die from the bleed. It's that powerful, and of course from Wild's Mask debuff. So this synergy is extremely good. For the attributes, I would recommend you to roll everywhere status effects, and status effects will work with our Wild's Mask debuff as well. So status effects will increase Wild's Mask's debuff, and that debuff will sit on enemies for 10 seconds, and enemies doesn't have any resistance whatsoever from Wild's Mask, so they will receive that flat damage non-stop. For mods, I would recommend you to use protection from elites. You could reach 40% protection from elites with maximum mods. Really good option. Or maybe you could use something like skill haste or crit chance, but like I said, artificial high will make our tool rod basically immortal, and if you want you can replace artificial high for any other skill that can apply status effect, but for me this combo is the way to go. For the rest of the gear, 4 pieces from ongoing directive gear set, LMG chest piece with stability, and Wild's Mask. Butcher drops the mic, stay safe, love you all, see you in the next one, bye. And one more thing, that we have increased reload speed as well.